One of my favourite elements to meditate with is water. So what I'm going to look at are some of the ways we can meditate with water, or the element of water. So we've got to remember that water is life-sustaining. It's so important for life. It's so important for us, being 60% water ourselves. And old cultures have always known this. So getting that connection with water and the earth is vitally important. So some shamanistic cultures see the stone people, water being part of that. Very different to things like stones and rocks and earth and this kind of thing, because water has movement, whereas stone is very still. But the old cultures found it had certain abilities. Abilities isn't the right word, but it put across certain things. So with water, we can see it as purifying. We see this through churches that do baptisms and things like this. I use it through shamanistic journeying. So I will often go through water at the start. And this wasn't a choice. This is just something that happened. And it's seen as cleansing and washing away the modern world and this kind of thing. Now, water is often seen as being adaptable. So if we see it in dreams and this kind of thing, you know, we can see it as being adaptable. Water flows around things. So very much like Tai Chi. Tai Chi is the same. It's very water orientated in how it moves. And it's also a very, very good way to deal with life, is to flow around problems. So to meditate with water, we can start taking on that idea that we can flow with life, a bit like Taoism. So it's also seen as renewing, so rebirth and things like this. Again, it's about washing away, I don't know, sins. I don't really believe that, but yeah, washing away, you know, the bad parts of us. If we drink water, we can wash away toxins. It can heal. So it's seen as a healing element. So there's so much in water that can be beneficial, and so much that we can get from meditating with it. So now, when we do our meditations, you can meditate in water, or you can use it as a visualization. And we're going to look at both. So mostly we're going to look at how to meditate with water in a physical way. So the first thing we want to do is find out where we're going to meditate with this water, because not all water is the same, or it moves differently. So we could look at a river. Now, a river is flowing, so we've got movement there, which is a really nice place to go. If you can swim in a river or just float in a river, and we'll look at this later, how we can meditate with water. A lake is very still. And so you've got more of a serenity and a calmness within the lake. There's still movement, but not as much as in a river. You might find that you've got a stream. Just putting your feet in the stream, you can meditate with that. You could go into the sea. Now the sea is very, very powerful. So again, it's got a different feeling to it. And we can get all these different feelings from different kinds of where we meditate with water. So rain is another great one. Just standing in the rain. Now, we might not like the rain, but again, we can meditate with it. We can use it as part of our meditations. I've done a rain meditation once where I was sitting in the rain. It wasn't particularly cold. It wasn't particularly warm. I had my eyes closed and I was just meditating. Now, when I was meditating, I felt that everything was bright. The sun was out and it was shining. Again, this happened. I didn't visualize it in any way. It just happened. When I opened my eyes, I was soaked at the time. It was grey. It was grey, dark, and there were puddles all over the place. You can even meditate in the bath. You know, if that's the only water that you can lay in, then do that. And we'll look at ways that we can attach to the element of water. Even drinking water, having a drink, meditate with that. Make the meditation part of your life. Use your senses, because that's really important with any kind of meditation, to use our senses, become immersed in it. So when you've found a place that you can meditate with water, then really you want to work out how you can stay comfortable. Because it's no point thinking, I want to do a long meditation and it's too cold and you can only stand there for 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes can be great meditations, by the way. They're just very, very quick. They'd be very different. So again, you want to work out where you are, where you want to meditate. Do you want to have somewhere warm? What do you want to wear? Do you want somewhere cold? Because it's a different meditation completely. You know, your mind has to do a different thing. Your body has to adapt to the cold. And ice baths, again, a very, very different kind of meditation. But you've got these options and you can try each of them at different times. So what we're going to look at next is what kind of meditations can we do? So they're really free that we can try. So you can swim. Now, if you're swimming, you can, as you're moving through the water, you can feel how the water feels as it pushes against you, how your body feels as it moves through the water, how your body moves as it fights against the water to move. We can float and just sit with the rhythm of the water. I prefer this one. I'm much happier floating than I am swimming, but they are different ways of moving through the water. Or we can watch. Just sit on the bank and, oh, you too, sit on the bank and just watch the water. Because then we can take in a different aspect of the water. We can see it rather than feel it. Where the other two, we'll be looking more at feeling. Whereas if we're sitting and watching, we're observing the water. And it's slightly different. So we can try those three. Now, when we are with the water, we want to look at water has a rhythm. And you can start to become part of that rhythm. You know, water has an energy. So the trickle of the stream is a different energy to the waves crashing over you. And you want to get deeper and deeper into those feelings of that energy of the water moving, because it's alive, it's moving, it's life-sustaining. You want to breathe with the rhythm. Breathe with the rhythm of the water, as if you're becoming part of it, part of this rhythm of nature that moves with the tides and in certain ways. You can dive under the water. And again, the quietness. How does it feel as the water moves you slowly or pushes you around or just buffets against you slightly? So again, when we're swimming, you can fight against the current and feel the strength of the water. You can stand against the waves crashing against you. Or you can allow it to push you around and allow you to float. But mostly with all of this, when we're doing this, we want to feel. We want to feel how the water makes us feel at the time. Is there a serenity to it? Is there a quietness to it? Is there a sound? Even when you're in the water, you can watch the ripples and see what directions they go in. Do they change? How they change? Watch the small changes. Watch the light reflect off of the water. And then even when you're watching the water, you can blend with it, become water. This is better to do with visualizations, but even when you're in the water, become part of it. Become part of the flow and the rhythm of the water. Wherever you're in, as I say, it'd be different. The sea is different to a stream. It's different to a lake. You will feel that difference. And you can even ask questions. Ask questions of the element. You know, it is seen as healing. And so you can ask questions of this thing that's part of the earth. So what I want to look at next is visualizations and how we can visualize with water. Oh, you do. Now we can use this visualization while we're in the water, or we can use it when we're just meditating normally. So usually when I'm meditating water, we can start, if you can't meditate with water, just start by drinking a glass of water and notice the sensations. Notice how it feels going into the body. Going out of the body, imagine it going around the body. Imagine that, or feel the taste, how it feels on the tongue and going down the throat. You know, that's a simple meditation you can do anytime and anywhere. But if you're visualizing and you're sitting in formal meditation, then you can go anywhere. You can be the water, you can be the sea. How does that expansiveness make you feel when your body isn't part of you anymore, but it's part of this huge expanse of a moving element? You can visualize being in the sea or in a lake and being underwater. Usually with these, I can breathe. They always have the feeling that they're safe. I always feel safe when I'm doing these because I'm a part of it. There's no danger, I'm meditating. Even when I'm journeying, there's no danger because you're part of the elements, you're part of, you're somewhere else. And so you can visualize swimming fast, you can visualize being a whale or a dolphin or a fish. You can, as I say, visualize being part of the water and just moving through it without any hindrances. It's quite a remarkable meditation to do when you do it. So, okay, so there are a few ways you can meditate with water. If you have any questions that you want me to answer about it, if I didn't cover anything there, then just put it in the comments and I see all of them. So, yeah, happy meditating.